un amigo nuestro de mucho tiempo. Nos conocemos desde high school, desde la preparatoria. Frank is an old friend. We get together once a year. Nos encontramos una vez al año.
2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
That's right. Depends on if there's an occasion that we should celebrate.
This counts as number 3.
Exacto. Sí. Y Frank, escuchen esto, es el hombre que trae los cannolis, los postres italianos a todas las fiestas nuestras.
That's a staple.
That's his thing, man. He can't come in without the freaking cannolis. And along with cannolis, he brings a lot more stuff. Terry Muñiz está con nosotros aquí hoy. Terry,
All
thank
right,
you.
Teresa.
Thank you, Teresa. Aquí está.
Well, even though Rispoli is not one of your current
Right,
sponsors,
you can stay there.
but maybe they will be
Sí,
after this.
posiblemente después de
I had them put Ino Contigo from Paco Blanco. Okay? And look at
Puedes
these, look
enfocar
at
ahí, Leo.
these cannolis. So after we're done here, we're going to taste all of these.
I know.
Iro
and eat all
contigo
of
from
these,
Paco
okay?
Blanco.
This
Paco
is-
Blanco viene de Francisco, de Frank, que es Paco en español.
we're gonna
y,
part-
y Bianchi quiere decir blanco en italiano.
Hey, maybe we have some café con leche as well.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
Here we go.
They give it to
Hey,
Terry.
forget about it.
Terry, here, take the cannoli. Terry,
okay.
leave the water, take the cannoli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right. So Frank,
Perfect. Perfecto.
tell me, what's up? You took a day off from work.
Well, actually, I have a few different meetings today.
Tuve algunas reuniones hoy.
I'm having a few different meetings today, including having to see my knee looked at. I'm going to have it scoped.
Oh, sí.
And then later on, I have to go visit a friend. So I'm taking a day off, but I wanted to start it with you.
All football injury.
All football injury.
Yeah, we're paying the price now, aren't we?
You know, it wasn't easy being a gringo in Hudson County.
No era fácil ser un gringo en Hudson County. Tell me about that experience.
Well, you know, like when we first saw a lot of Cubans coming into town,
Cuando primero vimos a muchos cubanos que estaban entrando a la ciudad,
we certainly embraced them because we certainly embraced them because they love to play sports,
Sí.
they love women.
pues nos acercamos a ellos porque le encantaban los deportes, le encantaban estar cerca de las mujeres lindas.
Yeah, they love family,
Y de la
they
familia.
love food, they
Y-
love to party and all that.
Sí.
But then I start to say, well, how come there's certain things that the Cubans are getting that we didn't get? If
Pero
we-
entonces yo me empecé a preguntar cómo hay cosas que los cubanos están obteniendo que nosotros no podemos obtener. Like what?
like for example, I used to live in an apartment house and I used to have these canteens outside the house.
Yo vivía
okay?
en un edificio y de pronto empecé a ver muchas cantinas que estaban fuera de las puertas.
And I'm saying, where's my canteen?
¿Dónde está
¿Dónde
mi cantina?
So
Yeah.
no, rice and beans,
Yeah.
frijoles, whatever it was. I wanted pasta.
Yo quería
You know,
pasta.
I
Yo
wanted
que-
pasta canteen.
Tú querías que te
But I
trajeran
didn't get it.
pasta bazú.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Y los Italians didn't have that, right? They didn't make deliveries like the little restaurants.
No, everything was homemade.
Todo estaba homemade.
Homemade, it had to be homemade. We didn't ship. My mother actually never even allowed us to order food from Chinese restaurants.
La mamá mía no me dejaba ordenar comida de los restaurantes chinos.
And nothing against Chinese. It was just
Nada en contra de los
everything
chinos,
had to be
pero todo tenía
no
que ser-
fast food.
no había
pasta
comida
every
rápida.
day, the whole bit. It had to be
Pasta
homemade.
every day.
Every day.
Escuchen esto, hermano, la tradición italiana. Ustedes tenían que comer pasta. You know one thing about Italians that I couldn't understand? Right, Leo, tú que eres medio italiano, es el paisano over there.
Hey, forget about it.
Hey, forget about it. Una questione che io sempre ho tenuto. The question is, all you guys do is modify a material, an eating thing. In other words, the same thing that capellini is made out of,
Sí.
fettuccine is made out of, bow ties is made out of that. The same garbage. Even the gnocchi.
¿Cómo
The
que
gnocchi.
decir? No.
The-
El
yeah,
gnocchi
yeah,
de
yeah.
papa. El gnocchi de papa.
Now wait a
The
second.
actual gnocchi is from
Oh,
potato.
el gnocchi de papa.
Now wait a second. The same thing goes with rice. The rice is the same thing every time. What
Okay.
are you
I love
talking
this
about?
guy.
Lo mismo pasa con el arroz de ustedes. Es verdad, es verdad. Yeah, it's true. It's, you know, he killed. Y lo mataron, lo mataron, lo mataron, lo mataron. Es verdad, good comeback.
Yeah, come
That's
on.
why you're a smart guy.
You know.
Es verdad, yo le dije a él que la pasta italiana era lo mismo, la misma vaina, la misma pasta, diferentes salsas y todo eso. Y él me dice, ¿y ustedes con el arroz? Y es verdad, nosotros teñimos el arroz. We make yellow rice. It doesn't taste any different.
No.
But it's just yellow rice. Arroz con gandules, arroz con esto, arroz. You're right. I take that back.
Okay.
You guys are
now,
smart.
Now let me continue.
Well, you discovered
Let me
America.
continue. So then all of a sudden, you know, around fifth grade,
Como en el
was-
quinto grado.
which was in the 60s,
En los años
you know,
60.
about half the class came from Cuba.
La mitad de la clase
Okay.
mía había llegado de Cuba.
And overnight, so we were not prepared for this.
No estábamos preparados para esto.
And all the guys were great guys. We were, you know, became great friends.
Sí.
But, you know, some of us were a little intimidated.
Sí, algunos estábamos un poco intimidados.
I mean, first of all, some of them had sideburns.
Algunos tenían ya patillas.
Some had a mustacho.
Otros
Okay.
tenían bigotes.
And then when we went,
You don't expect a kid in the sixth grade to have a mustache.
and when we went to the locker room, Mamma Mia, they had
It
they
was-
had other stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Entonces, sí.
so luckily we caught up. The gringos caught up.
Sí.
You know, it
Los
took
gringos, pues,
maybe-
empezamos a alcanzarlos a ustedes.
Yeah, we went through puberty as well, but
Sí.
in fifth grade, you know, they were a little bit more advanced.
Yeah.
Now that I'm 66,
Ahora que tengo 66
I
años.
realized that some of these guys were 20 years old when they came into sixth
Alguna
grade.
vez, ahora me doy cuenta que algunos de ustedes tenían 20 años cuando empezaron el quinto grado. You know, I'm gonna name a person that you know very well.
Okay,
I hope he's not listening in Florida. George Candy.
okay,
George was playing basketball with me in Memorial. It was in his early 20s. ¿Te acuerdas de George? You remember him?
Yeah.
You went to,
Papita.
Papita.
Papita. he's Papita.
Papita, George.
They called him Papita because he always ate potato chips.
He ate
That's why.
potato
Yeah,
chips.
yeah.
He's going to be here probably on the 25th.
Okay.
And you are going to get to
Well,
see him after.
unfortunately, I'm going to be away, but we'll talk about that.
Oh.
Mira, you know,
But that's
Oh.
okay. We'll talk about it.
rápidamente, perdón. We found one of your fifth grade pictures.
Really?
Fifth
One of my
grade.
pictures?
Ese, you know, fifth grade.
Oh, me hacen- Ese soy yo en el quinto grado.
Very
Oh,
That's
man.
him at number 5 school.
Pisuta's All-Star. That was a basketball team. Yeah, I played for Pisuta. That was the only way I could afford nice shirts.
good. So, you know, over time, you know, we didn't care who was Italian, who was Cuban.
En aquellos
was
momentos no nos
whatever.
preocupábamos quién era italiano, quién era cubano, ni nada de eso.
We all became really good friends.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. This is what I had a mean fist fight once. One of many, with a friend of ours now, with Mr. Bobby Jameson.
Okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
Bobby. Bobby was
Yeah.
a football player,
Yeah.
and I was a skinny dude. And we had a big scuffle.
Okay.
And I remember being divided the next day in school. You gringos on one side, pulling for Bobby, and all my Cubano friends with baseball bats
Right.
pulling for me.
Right.
You know?
Like West Side Story.
Yeah, West Side Story, like the Sharks and the what. And yo tuve una pelea con un amigo mío hoy día, muy orgulloso de que mi amigo Bobby sea mi amigo. Years went by. Y pasaron como 15 años y yo tengo que ir a Town Hall. Tengo que ir a Town Hall a resolver un problema de zoning thing.
Right.
And Bob works for the town of Westyard.
Right.
So Bob hasn't seen me in 15 years. A 15 años no me había visto
He shrunk a bit.
después de la pelea.
You got
He shrunk,
bigger,
yeah,
you got
and,
bigger,
and he went this
yeah,
way.
he
too.
went this way,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So Bobby's sitting at a chair doing some paperwork or whatever, and I come in and I go, "You want to fight?" And he looked up and he goes, "Holy shit!" Blah blah blah. You know, and it was like we picked it up where we left it from high school. Y yo creo que de esa es la manera que hemos crecido nosotros, que crecimos con alemanes, German folks, Irish, a lot of Irish,
Right.
a lot of Italians, of course, in West New York, and a lot of Spanish kids. Puerto Ricans were there too, to a degree. Mostly Cubans, but Puerto Ricans. Y lo bueno que pasaba en estos tiempos era que nadie sacaba una pistola, nobody had a gun.
No.
You solve your problems with your fist.
Yeah, you know what it was? I mean, if you had a basketball game, and I wasn't that good in basketball, I was good in football.
You used to hit a lot.
I used to foul a lot in basketball. But if you had a bad day at the court, okay, next day, the same person you had a problem with, you ring their bell and you go out and play together.
That's it.
Okay?
Exactly.
So you
Yeah,
shake
yeah.
hands
Yeah,
and
and you continue
and
on.
You know why? You know why? Because none of us had any money. We had nothing.
Ninguno de nosotros teníamos
Okay.
dinero. That was true.
Yeah,
That's one
the
common
only
thing we
thing
had.
that we had was each other.
Lo único que teníamos era
Okay.
uno para el otro.
And that's a really important
Yeah.
factor. So let me tell you one challenge that I did have. When all of a sudden the bodegas
Las bodegas
started
empezaron a surgir.
started to come in,
Yeah.
okay, you would put all this stuff on the windows.
Ponían cosas en las ventanas.
Malta Hatui.
Malta Atuey. There's no Malta Hatui.
What's
It's
the name?
Malta Atuey.
What's the name again?
Malta Hatui.
Malta Hatui. Rice and beans.
Canilla rice.
Instead of having melons, it's avocados. All these different things.
Todo
So
era
I
diferente.
always used to see this sign, High Guarapo.
Yo veía siempre un cartel en la ventana que decía Hi Guarapo.
Okay, so I always would say, High Guarapo, man. I can't wait to taste High Guarapo. Okay.
Estoy loco por probar el Hi Guarapo.
So one day, it was 1984.
En el 84.
There was a group of very senior men
Habían
from
algunos
Cuba
hombres de
who
Cuba,
just came.
bastante ancianos que habían llegado.
You remember the second group that
Sí,
came
sí,
in
en
the
el 80,
80s,
yeah.
right? And they were men in their 70s and early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a pig roast.
Y tuvimos un puerco, un lechón asado.
Right. So I was trying to act like I knew
Yo estaba
what
tratando
was going on.
de
Right?
impresionarlos diciéndoles que lo que yo sabía en español.
So they said, "What do you want?" I says,
¿Qué tú
"Well,
quieres? Me
give
dijeron.
me the pork. I like it well done.
Dame el puerco,
Let me have the yuca,
una yuca,
okay, because it's I like that.
Yeah.
Let me have some rice and beans, the whole
arroz,
bit."
arroz y habichuelas.
And the
frijol.
guy goes, "Well, what do you want to
¿Y
drink?"
qué quieres beber?
I says, "Let me have a glass of high guarapo."
Y yo le dije, dame un vaso de Hi Guarapo. Porque decía Hi Guarapo, we have Guarapo.
Yes. Well, you have to understand that these guys laughed so hard
Sí,
that story of some gringo
sí.
asking for high guarapo was being told in Cuba.
Se rieron
Okay.
tanto que esa historia mía fue a llegar a Cuba. El gringo que pidió a Hi Guarapo. Yeah, bro. And you tasted the Guarapo.
I tasted it,
Yeah.
and it's good.
It-
But
it's kinda
I
sweet
never,
for you.
no one ever told the American guys what stuff meant.
Sí.
You always had to learn the hard way.
Sí,
Okay?
nadie nos explicaba qué es lo que quería. It must have been hard for you guys because here you are in a little town. Well, not a little town. West New York is not little, but it was mostly Italian, German, Irish.
Yeah.
It was because
Yeah.
that's the way it was. And then you all spoke English and you all communicated in English and Mullins and the Mullins brothers
Yeah.
and hung out with
Yeah.
you and then a group of people come in. We kind of nos vestíamos diferente. We dressed
Right.
a little differently.
Right.
We spoke another language. And I gotta say, I gotta take my hat off to you gringos because you allowed us to blend in.
Yeah.
Ustedes permitieron que nosotros entráramos y que nos mezcláramos. There's one thing that I had against you guys. You started liking our girls.
Well, there's a reason.
Sí,
There's
a
a
ustedes les empezó a gustar las muchachas latinas.
Well, there's a
Hey,
re-
mami, they all learned that.
Well,
Oye,
hold on.
mami.
Well, there's a reason for this.
Hay una razón para esto.
I've spent some quality time with some Cuban girls.
Yo he pasado
And-
algún
and-
tiempo de calidad
and
con
this
algunas
is-
mujeres
this-
cubanas.
This is quality time.
It's quality time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they say this is. I don't like to make general statements.
No me gusta
Okay.
hacer
They
comentarios
say
en
that
general.
they say that the Cuban men are very passionate.
Dice que los hombres cubanos son muy
Very
apasionados.
passionate.
Sí.
They said the only problem,
El-
it's over in 2 seconds.
oh my God, el único problema. Oh, lo mataron, lo mataron.
and then and now they're ready. Now they're ready to go smoke a cigar, and it's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Acabo. Oye, dame tranquilo ya.
See, the Italians, they have the wine, they have the cheese, they have the foreplay, they have the, they make it a full event. Okay. And,
You know what? That's
and we
true.
want to make sure the women are happy.
What do they have? A
Okay.
buffet? What do they have? A buffet? Que traen
Yeah.
wine and
Hey,
cheese.
come here. Hey, bring the scungil. That scungil calamari now. Later on, we're going to bring something else. Hey, leave the eggplant. Leave the eggplant. I'm not ready yet for the eggplant over there. Put it in the oven now. Bring some. Teresa Muñoz está por ahí. Ponga Teresa, ponme. Hey, Terry, how are you?
Good, Eno. How are you today?
Hey, first of all, muchas gracias por traer a Frank Bianchi, mi viejo
You're
amigo.
very welcome. It's my
Yeah.
pleasure.
¿Y tú alguna vez saliste con un italiano?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. She went out with an Italian dude. Es cierto lo que dice
And
Frank.
what do you think, Teresa?
Oh my God, he was awesome.
There we go.
Very
Hey.
awesome.
By the
Pero
way,
habla
I
en
wish
espa-
you could see the smile that's on her face right now, and she's glowing, still glowing.
Pero no, you see that little corner over there? That-
I don't know how to say in Spanish. They wine you and they dine you.
Pero
And
para una mujer es importante eso. Come on, what would you rather have? You rather have a guy with you rather have a guy with a hairy chest than a guy serving you meatball sandwiches. Come on.
Hey, come
Yo
on,
quiero que
Italians
me
have
dé
hairy
vino, yo
chests.
quiero
Come
que
on.
me dé los pedacitos de queso.
Sí.
Yo quiero que me dé besitos y me digas cosas lindas y después quiero la pasión.
So, entonces
Yo lo quiero todo.
You
Yo
have,
quiero lo
you
italiano,
have
lo quiero
to
lo
romance
cubano.
them.
Pero entonces los cubanos no eran así. O no,
No, el cubano es...
y el pobre
Llegué, me fui.
Let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. If only the Cuban men enjoyed their women as much as they enjoyed the cigar, everything would be great.
Dice Frank que si los hombres cubanos disfrutaran de una mujer como disfrutan de un puro, de un habano, de un tabaco, entonces que estarían bien. Adri Muñoz, you're laughing. What the hell you laughing at?
No, solo estoy tratando de entender lo que quieren decir. ¿No?
Kidding aside,
Pero te dio duro, te dio duro.
Te dio duro.
just kidding aside. Again, 3 of the 5 people in my wedding party
Sí.
were Cuban.
3 de
Okay?
los 5
And-
caballeros en la boda mía eran
and-
cubanos.
And most of my friends are, married and happy for 35, 40 years.
Y la mayor
They
parte de
love
mis
their
amigos
wives,
están
they love their
casados,
wives.
adoran a sus mujeres.
But when we were teenagers, there's
There
a
was
lot
a
of
rivalry, man.
lot of competition.
There was a rivalry. And I'm going to tell you what. Did you used to go, I don't know if it was you, Bottom of the Barrel. Did you used to
I
hang
used to go bomb the barrel.
Tú, Bottom of the Barrel es un restaurancito bien...
Union City.
Richie, you remember?
Yeah.
Bergen Line.
Yeah.
That was, Richie, that was the place to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, remember?
And by the way, the last time I went there,
Y la
and
última
this
vez que
is,
yo estuve allá.
somebody very close to us, I saw Jackie there. The last
Oh, you
time,
saw
Jackie
Jack there?
Galoon. The last time I was there,
Yeah.
Jackie was on the second floor. There was that area for
Sí.
dancing,
Yeah.
and we had a drink together. And that was the last time I saw him until after
Yeah.
your reunions at your
Right.
house.
Right.
So
Yeah.
brings back good memories.
El Bottom of the Barrel le trae muy buena memoria de nuestro amigo Jack Galoon, el famoso jugador de baloncesto que la última vez que lo vio ahí. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you the last time I saw Jack.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But- ¿qué pasó?
Tengo una pregunta para el amigo.
Sí, Adrian Muñoz, our news guy, has a question for you. Don't ask about the mob. Nada de mafia.
A
Nada
question
de-
for me? Okay.
Yeah. Si habla de la mujer cubana o,
Go ahead, tell
o
him in English.
latina, no, pues el amigo habla
Come
español.
on.
No, it's okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Come on,
You-
come on,
you
Andres.
understand, right, sir? No problem.
You understand.
Yeah.
Pero don't do it so fast. Do it slow.
¿Por qué la mujer italiana, ustedes, por qué no elegían mujeres italianas?
Why
o
didn't you choose
italianas?
the Italian women if you're
Hay
Italian?
diferencia entre una mujer
Is there a
europea
difference
e
between
italiana?
an Italian woman?
No. You have to understand. I mean, when we were teenagers and even into college, it's sort of like.
Cuando estábamos
it's-
en la escuela y
and I
después.
mean this with the utmost respect. It's sort of like a buffet.
Cuando estábamos en la escuela era como un buffet. Tú podías
Some days some days it's Italian, some days it's Cuban, some days you want a hamburger, some days you want to have
Never a hot dog.
You never, never.
Pero ustedes encuentran esa diferencia entre una mujer latina.
Did
o
you
una
find the
mujer-
difference between an Italian woman and a Spanish woman
No.
or a Cuban woman?
Well, both are very passionate.
Muy apasionadas.
Both very passionate. They want to be loved. They want to be treated with respect.
Quiere que la traten con
They
respeto
like to be
ambas.
wined and dined.
Y quieren que la
And they
saquen
like to
a
have
cenar.
fun. And you know what? They like to laugh.
Y les gusta
they really
reírse.
like to laugh and really, you
Yeah.
know, enjoy life.
I want to get. Is there a picture? Porque, Frank, you've always reminded me of Rocky, you know, in the movie. That's why I'm always goofing on you on Facebook. Pero mira a ver si te puedes meter en la página de Frank en Facebook, because he looked like Rocky in those days. Frank era un tipo fuerte, grande, que jugaba deporte y siempre en aquellos tiempos, I know one thing Frank Bianchi hated. You, along with all my gringo friends at Memorial, you guys hated disco music. Ahí está Frank. Hey, hey, yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
hey.
that was 1982.
Look at you, man.
And
Guapísimo.
I had
You were-
46, 48
Pecho.
chest, 31. And now, you know, that also explains the situation about, you know, why some of the women went a certain way.
Ahí,
It's
esa foto explica la situación por qué algunas mujeres cubanas querían estar conmigo. Well, thank you very much. Dime,
But-
Terry.
Mayra Otati escribió,
Sí.
tiene una pregunta para Frank.
Sí.
Ino dice que no tiene dinero, pero que tiene muy buenos amigos. ¿Cómo se construye una amistad
Wow.
que perdura por décadas?
Sí.
Yes.
Yeah, good question. Dino says he doesn't have a lot of money,
Mayra
but he
Otati.
has good friends. How have you been able to keep a good friendship for so long?
We're talking about you.
You're talking about me and you.
Okay. All right. Well, there's a couple of things. I want to say a couple of things to that because there are some rumors about Eno that I want to clarify today. Okay. First of all, I want to say that Eno is a very generous friend.
Thank you.
Okay.
Alguien
When
muy
you go
generoso.
to his house in Belmar,
Yeah.
okay, I mean, he embraces you. Either food is there, the drinks are there.
La comida no sirve, todo está mal.
He doesn't just talk to one or two people. He goes around making sure everybody's having a good time.
Yeah.
Even though maybe we didn't hang out every weekend with each other, and I want to get back to the disco thing for a minute.
Yeah.
He's generous with his heart.
Thank you.
Okay, he's generous with his thoughts. Okay, now, in respect to in respect to generous,
What?
Eno hasn't opened his wallet in like 10 years. Okay. Okay. I mean, when you open the wallet, you know those TV
What?
show.
I don't understand.
You know the TV show, the Monsters, when Grandpa used to open up the thing and all of the fuzz and everything. That's Eno's wallet.
Yeah.
Okay?
Dice que mi billetera.
So-
Lo mataron. En otras palabras, Frank está diciendo que yo soy maceta chippy, que yo no he abierto mi billetera en años y que cuando la abro salen,
Centavos.
que no, ¿cómo se llaman los moths? Las mariposas volando.
Cupones salen ahí.
I don't know why I had that reputation.
Well,
I really
because
don't.
I guess he always talks about going to La Brisas every Sunday, and I actually ran into the manager there, and he said that Eno's always welcome, but he's got this tab that like I just can't unbelieve it, you know. So
Dice que yo le debo mucho dinero en la brisa. Yeah.
only kidding.
I think most of it, first of all, there was a different time. No existía cuando nosotros estábamos, we were growing up. There was no hatred, really. There was no hatred. There was some conflicts. Habían conflictos entre los latinos y los norteamericanos. And I'd say it was a 50-50 split. En la escuela, en Memorial High School, que era la número uno. By the way, Memorial High School in those days was the number one high school in the state as far as academics. Urban school.
Yeah, yeah.
Éramos número uno en enviar muchachos a la
I
universidad.
was 4 years on Honor Society.
I know, Frank tenía el privilegio. Él fue uno de los muchachos más inteligentes en la escuela. And that's why you do what you do today. And congratulations. Pero what I'm trying to say is, contestando la pregunta, las amistades se conservan a través de los años by not stabbing anybody in the back.
That's right.
Para no traicionando a tus amigos.
That's right.
Siendo leal a la amistad. Haciendo todo lo posible por mantener esa línea que no se rompe. Y eso es algo que se le olvida a la gente. Some people forget that. You and I have been friends for a long time, pero en la mente nuestra ni pasa por la mente traicionar uno al otro. The idea of betraying one another is not even there.
And you know,
Right.
you don't do it.
And that's why we're friends today.
That's right. I
You
do
know?
want to say something about the disco.
Quiero
Okay?
decir algo acerca de...
See, I was one of these guys.
Yo era uno de esos muchachos.
I was one of these guys that actually, you know, on Friday night, I am hanging out with all the guys with the long hair.
El viernes por la noche estaba yo con... Oh, yeah, rocker.
Listening
Yeah.
to Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, Pink Floyd,
Yeah. Black Sabbath. No.
Black Sabbath, Emerson, Lake and Palmer,
Yeah.
you know, all those great bands. And we're partying. And both the guys and girls that were in that group were into partying. And
Don't tell me you like Jethro Tull.
I love Jethro Tull, okay?
All right.
Now, they should be in the Hall of Fame, Rock and Hall
You know
of
Jethro
Fame,
Tull?
okay? Yeah, that's one of the biggest disgraces ever. Now, on the other hand, every so often, mostly with my Cuban friends, they would say, hey, we're going to a disco.
Mayormente con mis amigos
Okay.
cubanos me decían, me voy para la discoteca.
And sometimes I would go. So
So you used to go to clubs.
I used to go to clubs. Now, I was not a guy that liked to hustle.
No me gustaba
I-
bailar, no me gustaba
I was,
el baile de disco.
I liked the freestyle dancing.
Sí.
I wasn't wearing a suit.
Yo no me ponía traje.
You know, I liked to go into Soap Factory.
Soap
and
Factory?
Then I used to go to New York to Danceteria and Infinity,
No, Infinity.
Limelight, all those different places. All right, it was fun. Now, but what did we have in common? Dancing,
¿Qué teníamos en común?
fun, women,
Bailar,
partying,
eh,
the whole bit.
estar juntos y divertirnos juntos.
Right.
And that was,
So I could go there and get along with everybody and not make it into a disco versus rock.
yo podía
Okay.
ir y estar. So you were a chameleon. You used to go from one
A
side to
little
another.
bit, but I mean, I definitely was 100% more rock
Sí,
than disco.
a mí me gustaba mucho más el rock
I
and
like
roll.
the disco environment,
Sí.
but I don't like the disco music.
No, me gustaba el ambiente del disco, de la discoteca, pero no me gustaba
I like the
la
lights.
música.
I like the lights, the music, you know, and the whole party atmosphere.
Y coge, Richie.
¿Quién es ese paquete que vi por ahí? Vi un paquete que un polvo blanco.
No, hermano, eso es powder sugar. Eso es azúcar.
Oh, hablando de fiesta.
Eso es,
hablando-
no.
Hablando de party.
No. Eso es.
Hold on. I bought the cannoli. By the way, we have to open up the cannolis soon, but I bought the cannolis yesterday from
Compré los
Rispoli.
cannolis
Okay.
ayer.
Hold on.
Yeah.
And if you buy cannolis the day before,
Si tú compras canolis el
you
día
cannot
antes,
put the sugar
Tú no le
on the
puedes poner
cannolis
el azúcar
because your cannoli gets soft.
en el canoli.
And one thing for sure, no guy wants his cannoli to be soft.
Nadie le gusta, a ningún hombre le gusta que su canoli se le ponga blando. Y eso es lo que ocurre si tú le pones. Thank you, Frank.
So I asked them to put the powdered sugar
So, entonces nos pusieron
into the bag. So when
esta
Teresa
azúcar
opened
italiana
them up, we sprinkled it on top.
para
of
ponérselo
it.
ahora, porque las compré
Si le
ayer.
pone ahora, ¿se pone bien?
Si lo pone ahora no hay problema, pero si tú se lo hubieras puesto ayer,
Ah, ok.
el canoli se te pone blandito.
Ah, ok.
¿A ti se te ha puesto alguna vez el canoli blandito?
No tengo ese problema.
Yeah,
Okay.
you put it on the cannoli.
Porque tú no
on the-
comes cannoli.
I got three things: cannolis, eclairs, and lobster tails.
Those things are great. The lobster tails are great.
Where are the lobster tails?
Estos son los dulces italianos que trae este hombre a cada fiesta que hacemos. And everybody goes nuts. At the end of the party, we sing Taramba, barararampa, bandaranda, darara, y Frank se aparece con sus cannolis.
¿Y el amigo Frank practicaba el fútbol con ustedes o no?
He used to play football.
Sí.
Football,
Yeah,
el juego de
yeah.
los hombres.
Sí.
He wouldn't play basketball because he was afraid of my elbows.
No. See, in Memorial, there was so many good basketball players. With 47,000 people in 1 square mile, right?
Yeah.
You had to be really good to make the team. Okay.
Tenía que ser bien bueno para jugar
So I
baloncesto.
might play at the park.
Yo jugaba en el
but-
parque.
But I wasn't good enough to be on the team. Okay.
Pero no, en aquellos tiempos,
No.
Memorial High School, we were number one in basketball.
Claro.
No.
Y los atletas que salían de ahí, todo el mundo que jugaba en ese equipo era ya bastante bueno.
But see, I was in much better shape as you saw the picture.
Pero-
okay? In football, I made a big mistake of
Cuando estaba jugando fútbol,
stop playing in my sophomore year.
cometí un error de dejar de jugar el segundo
I-
año.
I started to get distracted with partying and long
Me
hair and
distrajo
all this stuff like that.
la fiesta,
And well,
mujeres.
in terms of my priorities, okay? And
Ahí está Frank.
yeah.
There you go. You look
yes,
like James Taylor.
Yes, that's Frankie.
Sweet
My-
greens and blues
And
are
by
the
the way,
colors of you.
that dog that you see there,
See?
his name was Paco.
Paco. That was
So
his name.
that's how Paco began. Okay,
Oh,
they started
man.
calling me Paco
Ah,
when
sí.
he in fact passed away. So,
Paco, este es el señor que
So-
lo tienen aquí, que éramos amigos en high school.
But I would say this is that I got I reconciled that decision about not playing in high school because it was a big mistake that I made.
Y después ya encontré la paz en no haber jugado fútbol en high school.
And I played semi-pro football, almost semi-pro, like a low-end semi-pro. And in 1981, I was the top scorer in the league.
En el 81 yo fui el que más anotó en una liga semi-pro.
And actually lost the game at Meadowlands Stadium.
Y perdimos un partido en
We
el-
lost against these are people that played college,
En el estadio
that
Meadowlands.
played high school, whatever. Somebody kicked a 45-yard field goal.
Oh, man.
Okay, and we lost the game.
That's
okay?
a heartbreaker. You remember that for the rest of your
Right.
life.
But that gave me satisfaction.
Pero me dio la
that-
satisfacción.
that I could have played,
Que
and I should have
You
played.
should have, because
Played
you were a
in
hell of
high
an
school.
athlete.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happened, because you were a lot better than a lot of the kids on that team.
Yeah, I was fast,
Yeah.
fast as well.
And you were big too. You were a big boy.
So listen, I know that you might have some other people, but I
Posiblemente vas a tener otras personas, pero
I did write 2 poems that I want
escribí 2 poemas, porque Frank también escribe poemas.
I do want to read 2 poems before I do leave, and I do want to hope that we have a chance to taste the cannoli at
Of
least
course we do.
while we're on the air.
We're almost done. Pero Terry has something to say. Terry.
Sí, este poema, el primero creo que él va a leer, te lo escribió para ti, es para ti hoy.
Hoy.
Él vino al programa.
Hoy.
Y el otro
Poema.
poema que él tiene es el poema que él te escribió cuando tú dejaste Saguado, que te retiraste.
Oh, wow.
So, él
Oh.
tiene los 2 poemas que él escribió para ti, un tributo
oh
a la
my
amistad
God,
que él tiene
Frank.
contigo.
So this first poem I wrote for Eno when he was, I don't know the exact circumstances, but
I left Univision.
when you left Univision, okay? I wrote this for him, and I like to write things that are sort of a play on a song that we all might know. So I call this poem "The End of the Innocence." Okay. Okay. Today, the late day sun was blocked by an unexpected shadow when I learned that Eno Gomez departed from 1280 Wado. After 20 years of morning fun, there would be no more talk radio. This larger-than-life presence would no longer rule the studio.
Oh, wow.
It didn't matter that he was just a funny kid from Memorial. The decision was purely made from numbers and a P&L. I expect the airwaves to be filled with anger and shock. After all, Eno is the beloved Cubano version of a shock jock. He has a loyal, passionate base who will probably stage a boycott. Seems like the human factor in loyalty is what your executives forgot. Eno made us laugh with a wit that was sharp as an arrow. He even tried to put me on the show, Paco Blanco and Paco Navarro. No doubt he got some of his materials from me on social media. And when he tells funny stories, he's like a walking encyclopedia. There'll be no more jokes about Dr. Mejia or Union City. No more jokes about life in Hudson County. It's certainly a pity. Enjoy the break from constant pressure, swinging on the trapezes. Instead, have breakfast with your friends at your favorite Las Brisas. Eno, you can now relax with pride no matter what is destined. Another West New York street fighter who became a legend. In the year 2020, nothing seems to make sense. As Don Henley said, this is the end of the innocence.
Hey, this is the end.
Precioso.
This is the end of the innocence.
Precioso.
Thank you, Bobby.
Okay? And I said, Eno, God bless you, my friend from Paco Blanco. By the way, you can frame. You can frame. No, you can have it. Okay. I wrote this last night. It was only 10 minutes, so it's not as well thought out. But I wanted to do something.
Escribí esto en
for today.
10 minutos ayer.
Okay. So it's Clash of the Domino, Titan.
I got it.
Here I am in Secaucus on the set of Eno Contigo, shooting the breeze with Eno, my longtime amigo. Eno taught me dominoes. I was one of the few gringos. My Cuban friends figured me for cards or maybe bingo. But then the unthinkable happened as Paco began to win. An Italian beating the Cubanos in dominoes was a mortal sin.
That was true. That was true.
A group of West New York Hall of Famers get together at Eno's each year, talking about the old days with barbecue, Cuban cigars, and cold beers.
Yeah.
Some high school basketball stars now seem to play in slow motion. Out of breath, they take out the sunscreen and the Minute Rub lotion. Yes, we're no longer the Memorial Stallions we once were, once running fast and fearless like the chariot race in Ben-Hur. But we will always be good friends and loyal Memorial Tigers, all from immigrant families. We're a bunch of tough survivors. Over time, we realized Cubanos and Italians have much more in common. Love of life, the USA, family and friends define us, being Cuban or Roman.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
That's fantastic, man. That's
So
it's-
for those that need a translation, maybe we can do a translation. There we go.
There you
Yes,
go.
That's great.
There you are.
That's at Eno's
Yeah,
and
man.
Ovi and Elaine and Ralph Garcia and a
Yeah.
whole bunch of great friends.
We have a blast every year, and hopefully, you know what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to bring you guys down, and we can film some of the stuff. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, Frank?
Okay, you can ask Frank anything.
Since you're a rocker, top 3 guitarists.
There you go. Van Halen,
My favorite is Van Halen.
Jimi Hendrix,
Well,
Eric Clapton.
well, Van Halen is probably like number 7. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So you have to understand there'd be no greater guitar player than Jimi Hendrix. Okay. Because he like when people were playing like the
Nadie tocó la guitarra
Beatles, I
mejor
want to
que
hold your hand.
Jimi Hendrix.
He was at a different level.
Estaba en
okay?
otro nivel diferente.
So he was the best.
Okay.
Now, the next 3 are very difficult because they would be
Los próximos 3 son bien difíciles de
no
escoger.
Eddie Van Halen
Without them.
if there wasn't a Jimmy Page, there wasn't a Jeff Beck, or there wasn't Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
So I put those 3 as the next group.
So?
And but listen, Eddie Van Halen was amazing, and he and Van Halen was a great band.
Jimmy Page, the Led Zeppelin, por supuesto.
I like that answer, too. That's a great answer.
Eric Clapton, Cream.
Yeah.
Hay que decir a la gente para que, because
Sigue, sigue, sigue.
I'm just explaining to them. Y Jimi Hendrix, por supuesto, el solista, posiblemente considerado por Frank y por muchos el mejor guitarrista en la historia de la guitarra eléctrica. Tocó en Woodstock y tocó una vez el himno nacional de los Estados Unidos con los dientes. Tam, 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 tam. Ah,
Yeah,
vamos, Santo.
I mean, 2 years later, I would have been at Woodstock.
But
for
Richie,
sure.
your man was Van Halen.
I grew up, I had older brothers and they put me on.
Yeah.
I grew up with Led Zeppelin, of course. I always felt like Van Halen was like an organized Hendrix. Like I felt like there was like a structure.
Yes.
Hendrix was just crazy. But if you got into Van Halen, like 1 through 6, the first 6 albums,
Right.
I'm not into the Sammy Hagar stuff, but the
Oh.
first 6 Van
Yeah.
Halen albums, if you really listen, I love what you're saying because you hear Clapton,
Right.
you hear Beck,
Right.
and you hear Page. But I also there's pockets where you hear Hendrix,
Yeah.
but just a little bit more controlled.
Yeah, and
You know?
the thing is,
Lo que
you
pasa
have
es
to
que
understand just
tiene
the
que
difference
entender
between
que hay una diferencia
65 and 85.
entre 65 y 75.
And, you know, Van Halen was
Y
you
Van
know, in
Halen
the mid-80s.
estaba en los
The other
años
guys
80
were doing this in the mid-60s.
nosotros estaban haciéndolo en
And
los
you have to
60.
understand the amount of innovation.
Hay que- hey, innovation.
Innovation. Innovation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like the name of a new podcast with Frankie.
Innovation. Oh,
But anyway, I know we have to wrap, but I do want to have at least pass around the cannolis before I want to see
during the
some,
break, yeah, pass it around.
Okay.
Yeah, but come on, pass it around, Terry. And I want to say that for our next show, we're going to be discussing drummers, and of course, the life and times of Ginger Baker is going to be discussed here, and
And
Phil
by the way, I
Collins.
know I can say who the best 3 drummers are too, but that's
Okay,
beside the
is
point.
Neil Peart one of them?
Oh yes,
Neil Peart?
yes, from Rush.
Phil
for
Of course,
sure.
of course.
You know, you have so many great.
Thank you,
John
sweetie.
Bonham from
Thank
Led
you. John
Zeppelin.
Bonham, man.
Keith
Yeah.
Moon. No, hold on now. Eno Contigo. Remember, get that on the Eno Contigo.
I got a picture. I'm gonna send you the picture real quick.
Señoras y señores,
Okay. All right, I'm going to have cannoli.
Mm.
Oh,
incredible. Incredible. Frank, as always,
Hold on. Please show this.
muchísimas gracias, hermano mío. Thank you so much, my brother. And I hope to see you soon. We got to talk about the 25th. Todos ustedes. Jordi está por ahí. Qué sorpresa más grande. Va a estar con nosotros. Aquí está la caja de cannolis y de todos los otros dulces italianos que trajo Frank Bianchi, mi amigo de toda una vida. God bless you, man.
God bless you. You know, God bless everyone, and it's great to be part of the family.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Ya venimos.
Vamos a una pausa.
Respira ahí.
Are we?
Cuando usted se decide a lanzarse al